Hey everyone, and welcome. So if you're a parent, a teacher, or really just anyone who cares about kids navigating this crazy digital world, you know that feeling, right? That little hum of anxiety in the background? Well, today, we're going to dive into a completely different way of looking at kids, tech, and what online safety really means on a human level.
You know, we spend so much time talking about screen time limits, what filters to use, and all the privacy settings, but what if the real dangers aren't just technical? What if by obsessing over the how long and the what, we're completely missing the much deeper story of how it feels for a child to be online?
And that's where the real conversation needs to go. According to psychotherapist Dr. Catherine Nibbs, we have to move beyond just the technical stuff. We need to start talking about the emotional, the psychological, and even the relational costs that our digital lives can have on a brain that's still growing.
To even have that conversation, we kind of need a new vocabulary. So in this first section, let's explore a new framework that really helps us get a handle on these hidden, deeply human costs.
Now, this isn't some abstract theory for Dr. Nibbs. Her work started because of something deeply personal and, frankly, terrifying. Her own kids accidentally saw a real-life murder online, what some people call a snuff video. And trying to process that unique kind of horror, she realized she had to create a whole new way of understanding digital harm.
And this is the concept she came up with: cyber trauma. It's a very specific kind of harm that happens through our screens. And the key thing to get is that it's fundamentally different from trauma we might experience out in the physical world. So, what exactly makes it so different? Okay, let's really break this down. When you watch a scary movie, the TV is usually across the room, but our phones, our tablets, they're just 30 or 40 centimeters, like a foot, away from our faces. That closeness makes it feel incredibly personal. And on top of that, when the content is real, like the video her kids saw, the brain can't just write it off as make-believe. Your body doesn't just see it as media. No, it has an actual, real-deal interpersonal stress reaction. So that raises a huge question, right? If the harm we experience online is different, shouldn't we start looking at children's behavior online differently too? And that brings us to our next section, which is all about the search for connection. It is so easy to see a kid who's just glued to their tablet and immediately slap the label addicted on them. But Dr. Nibbs really challenges us on this. What if we're totally misreading what's going on? What if it's not addiction, but a basic human drive playing out in a new space? She came up with this brilliant term for it: attachment. It completely reframes a child's online life. It's not about addiction, it's about our fundamental human need for attachment, for connection, and how that need is now being shaped by the digital tools in their hands.
I mean, just think about it. When we, as adults, compulsively reach for our phones, what are we really looking for? A little hit of validation, a feeling of connection, maybe just some predictability. For kids, this is 1,000 times more powerful. They are searching for what psychiatrist Dan Siegel says is the heart of healthy attachment, that feeling of being seen, soothed, and secure. And hey, if they're not getting that from the people in the room, you can bet they're going to look for it in that little glowing portal.
And this leads to this really powerful, kind of scary idea of the three-parent family: mom, dad, and the device. Every time a screen interrupts one of those small, crucial moments of connection between a parent and a child, that device starts to act like a third caregiver, and it begins shaping that child's development in ways we are only just beginning to grasp. Okay, so if the problem is this complicated and this deep, what on earth are we supposed to do? Well, panicking and just banning everything is a super common reaction, but there's a much better way forward. You've basically got two paths you can take. The first is fear-based. It's all about bans, prohibitions, and restrictions. But the tech-smart approach is completely different. It's about education, it's about having conversations, and it's about building skills. It's not about avoiding tech, it's about learning how to navigate it safely. And this quote from Dr. Nibbs just nails it. We don't protect our kids from drowning by keeping them away from pools forever. We get in the water with them and we teach them how to swim. It's the exact same idea here. We can't teach digital citizenship from a worksheet. We have to get into the digital water with our kids and give them the tools and the guidance, the buoyancy aids, so they know how to stay afloat on their own. Which brings us to our final section. And honestly, this is where things get really fascinating and maybe a little unexpected. We've talked a lot about harm, but what about healing? So here's the twist. If technology can be the source of this new kind of trauma, is it possible that it could also be a tool to help repair it? Well, it turns out the answer is a resounding yes. In therapy sessions, tech can be an amazing tool. A therapist can play a game, like Fortnite, with a kid and see exactly how they handle conflict. Do they run and hide? Do they charge right in? In a game like Minecraft, a child who can't find the words to talk about their problems can literally build them and show their therapist what their world feels like from the inside. And tools like biofeedback can make something invisible, like an anxious breathing pattern, visible on a screen, teaching a child how to actually see it and manage it.
So what you start to realize is that technology isn't just a distraction or a toy. For so many kids, it's actually a native language. It's a way for them to communicate, to express themselves, and to process their world when words just aren't enough. And this all leaves us with this huge, profound idea, which borrows from the philosopher Heidegger. It's this concept of techne, the idea that it's a two-way street. We build our tools, and then, in turn, our tools build us. Our technology is constantly shaping our brains, our relationships, our actual nervous systems.
And that, right there, is the question I really want to leave you with. We are not just passive victims of technology. We are in an active, dynamic relationship with it. And knowing that it is shaping our children and ourselves every single day, the most important question isn't whether we should ban it or allow it. It's how will we consciously and thoughtfully choose to build it, use it, and guide our kids through it. Thanks so much for joining me.